Hey everybody, Diggles here with ESN TV, and this is our second episode. Thank you guys for all the support. We broke 200 subscribers, and I'm loving the responses we're getting from you guys, and we're going to keep making some more videos for you guys every week. Be sure to check up on our channel, and we're going to have interviews like this that's upcoming and some more NAO footage, and we're also going to include other games in there. We're also going to have a web show every week on SkillCap's YouTube channel. Make sure to check them out. I'll have a link below in there about their YouTube page. We will have a video, believe every Wednesday it'll be up there. You can check us out there as well as the videos on our page. But today I'm here with Tosan, who is a multi-rank 1 multi-classer. He is here to talk about his World of Warcraft experience. So here's Tosan. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I am Tosan. I'm a huge nerd. I play, like you said, multiple classes usually. Right now I'm mostly playing Hunter just because I don't know, I have teammates that go well with Hunter for the most part. I generally play Mage and Rogue also, and other classes sometimes here or there when I get bored.
Alright. And you guys played in the NAO tournament on Saturday night, and you guys won your first series pretty easily against the KFC. And on the second series, you guys kind of got demolished by that Kitty Cleave. Can you tell us what went wrong there?
Yeah, in the second fight, we pretty much knew we'd get demolished because we've only fought Kitty Cleave a few times, and Thug Cleave is more. Thug Cleave is really good against like lighter armored classes and healers that aren't Holy Paladins.
Yeah.
The crazy healing potency from Holy Paladins makes it really hard if we don't have perfect CC chains and shut them out entirely. They can easily heal through our damage. Especially considering, a lot of people forget that in the tournament you don't have PvE gear and it's very different on live. So when people imagine a rogue cheap shotting and smoke bombing on a warrior on live with the Vial of Shadows and Wrath of Unchaining type stuff, it's a very different picture than when everybody's in full PvP gear. The damage is just not nearly as crazy in the tournament because of the restriction, and so we knew that matchup would be nearly impossible for us. We were pretty much expecting to lose against the Kitty Cleave.
Yeah.
And maybe not so bad, but we definitely expected to have a hard time, if not get demolished. The KFC we thought we'd have a harder time with too, because Holy Paladins and melee hunter versus other hunters is always scary.
Yeah.
And generally, I'm less afraid of rogues personally than other melee classes because I find them the easiest to kite. But they didn't have really a whole bunch of practice together, so it ended up being a lot easier than we expected.
Now, I'm assuming you guys watched the teams on the stream to scout them out a little bit and see what you guys are going to be up against next. What is the team you fear the most in this tournament?
Other than anything that is a Holy Paladin sort of melee cleave is always scary, heavy plate cleaves, but particularly the two teams that were the scariest for us was the Kitty Cleave. We were honestly hoping they'd get eliminated by the Enhancement Shaman team because we did not want to fight them at all.
Us too.
And
us too.
yeah, and the VIP Pets Cleave, we fought them on live a lot. They were incredibly hard because we just don't have enough peels against a Ret Paladin, a DK, and a Priest to save our Shaman from getting trained down by them.
Yeah.
They don't really go for anything else besides our Shaman typically. It's just really hard for us to land a kill with the Ret Paladin's healing and defensive cooldowns before they can land a kill on us. It's really scary. So terrified of them and the Kitty Cleave, and even your PhD and the Jungle Cleave I'm kind of scared of too.
Yeah. Now, have you guys made any changes for you guys for the next matches after losing to the Kitty Cleave? Is there any things you guys are going to change, like major changes to your team?
Not really. Nothing too much that we can change as far as like specs go. Everything's pretty simple nowadays. So there's not really much that we're going to change. We're just hoping that these scary cleaves that we're afraid of get eliminated by other comps that we're not so afraid of.
Alright, now, and you mentioned about PvE gear in the game, Vial of Shadows and Cunning of the Cruel. What's your take on that? Do you feel that should be in the game, or what do you think Blizzard should do to fix it?
It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say, because I realize it's an MMO, and on live ladders, the majority of the people don't play arenas competitively, but there's the top level of competitive players that absolutely hate the PvE trinkets, because they really destroy everything as far as balance goes. So it's hard for me to give my opinion, from Blizzard's point of view, but from the competitive, people who care about balance point of view, it definitely screws everything up. The trinkets are absurd. Even if you're planning for your teammate to get global by a rogue and try to peel massively, it doesn't really matter. You just can't stop a 60k Vial of Shadows proc. But Yeah, I think they're really bad for the game, and everybody's been saying it for years. It'd be better if PvE gear wasn't allowed in PvP.
Yeah.
But I also understand that from Blizzard's perspective, they want people to participate in PvP and PvE together. Both of them, and so that's kind of encouraging that. So if they're not going to eliminate the trinkets, I'm glad that they're at least toning down Vile. At least it's going to be spread out damage, but I still think Cunning and Vile will still be too strong, just because the amount of damage they do over a period of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they end up being like. Cunning of the Cruel is often the #1 damaging ability on recount at the end of a game, and that's kind of ridiculous that it's actually stronger. A trinket is stronger than any single class ability.
For sure. Alright, now I heard rumors that Blizzard is putting up their annual TR realm early March, I heard. Are you guys going to be running the same comp with Ayumi and Dizzyit, or it depends on how you guys do in the tournament?
It kind of depends on a few things. We weren't initially playing with Dizzyit. We just kind of had to get a new shaman because our normal shaman secondaries, he had to go to Air Force basic training on the 24th, just before the qualifiers started for the tournament. So we kind of had to pick somebody up last minute. So it wasn't really our plan to play with him in particular. He's a good guy, though. He's funny as hell, so he's fun to play with a lot of the time. But I'm not really sure if we'll be running the same comp. I definitely plan to be playing with Ayumi because we've been playing together since Vanilla WoW, ganking people in Blackrock Mountain in the good old days. And, so we have a lot of synergy together, and we've been friends for a really long time. So I always take the opportunity to play with him when possible. And the only time we don't really play together is if we don't have classes that we're currently playing that mesh well together and make viable comps. Otherwise, we pretty much always play together. So who our healer would be at the time for the TR is completely uncertain at this point. And will we be playing Thug Cleave? I don't know. We might play something more common like RMP too. It just kind of depends. This tournament though is a really good way to test the waters for how the comp does without the PvE gear on live. We don't have Vial of Shadows on live or anything, but it's a good way to feel out how our comp plays against people who also don't have any PvE gear. Yeah. And assuming Blizzard holds up with that and they also don't allow, Vial of Shadows or
I hope not, God.
Cunning of the crit your whole team for 30k. And so as long as the TR doesn't have those trinkets also, this will be a good test run, you could say, in the NAO right now.
Alright. And I know you already made a vlog on your YouTube page about Mr. Pandaria, which I'll also have his YouTube channel below in the link so you guys can check it out. How do you feel the PvP is looking in that expansion so far?
They haven't really showed a whole lot, of course, because it's, you know how Blizzard is. They don't like to commit to anything before anything's ready. So it's kind of hard to tell. I'm always eager and excited for every new expansion. Sometimes I'm disappointed. Sometimes I'm really pleased. Yeah. But Mists of Pandaria looks good, and the way they talk about it, they're focusing a little more on PvP this time around, rather than, having like a main, boss figure to kill. So I have really high hopes for it. The new talent system looks really awesome. I know a lot of people talk about, dumbing down the talent system and whatever and having less choices. But I mean, putting clicking 5 points into this or 4 points into this, oh, so creative. Everybody wants to be a unique snowflake with their talents. But I think if you want to be unique, it should be in your gameplay. And the talents, I think the new system they have is great for making different choices from other people based on what comp you're running, Like, Shadow Priest can choose between Psychic Scream, which they normally always have, or an AoE Root, so they can play a little more like mage utility if they already are playing like Shadowplay, for instance, already has a ton of fears, right? Because you have the Warlock, shares DR. I'm not saying they'll want to get rid of Psychic Scream because it's still good even on Shadowplay, but just hypothetically, it's cool to have the options that they're providing in the new talent system, and so I really like the new talent system. I don't really care for the Pokemon battles, but a lot of people I'm sure will like that. But yeah, in general, I'm really excited for the expansion. Plus, even if the expansion ends up being crap, which I really don't think it will, but even if it is, it's always fun because it's new. You know what I mean?
Definitely,
so even if you're disappointed, down the road, at least it's always a new expansion. Always just riles people up, gets more people to reactivate their accounts, and it's a party again. Because everything's new. So exactly.
All right. Now, there's a lot of new games coming out this year. Diablo 3, Guild Wars 2, Star Wars came out at the end of last year. Which of those games are you looking forward to? Which have you tried? Are there any you're looking to get into?
Guild Wars 2 looks awesome. I really can't wait to get my hands on it. I wish I had a beta key. Diablo 3, of course. I loved Diablo 2. I don't know if it'll be like. I don't really foresee it to be a long-term play it for, be addicted to it like WoW for a million years.
Yeah.
But Diablo 2 was a really fun game for a few months. You know what I mean? It's the kind of game that I can sit there and nerd out with my brothers in the same room. Land it up. I mean, not that we can do that nowadays because we all live separately and stuff. But it's a really fun game just to go and mow down mobs mindlessly, and I definitely look forward to Diablo 3 and Guild Wars 2 for sure. Star Wars, I played the beta before that game came out, and I have no interest in playing that at all. It's really
I didn't like it either.
Not to sound cliche, but it's very much like Rift, and Rift is very much like WoW in base structure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha.
It's just but neither of those games can match WoW's fluid gameplay and really cool mechanics. I'm sure half the cool mechanics in WoW were accidental, and they just turned out awesome and fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it is. So Guild Wars 2 and Diablo 3 are the two I'm looking forward to most. I'm sure there's other games that I can't think of that are right now that are far off, but those two mainly.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and let's talk about you with Skill Capped and your movie making, because you're pretty well known for your famous movies all through WoW and being a feature contributor on Skill Cap. Can you tell us how and when you got started with Skill Cap?
I got started with Skill Capped about March last year, very early on in Cataclysm, a couple months after Cataclysm came out, I guess. I've always been comfortable with the movie making because, back in vanilla, I took interest in it and learned slowly how to edit in Sony Vegas over time. And so it was it was an easy thing to dive into, because I already had the editing ability. So I thought it'd be a cool way to, make some money on the side and do something cool with a really cool community.
Okay.
And the Skill Cap community is actually really awesome. Everybody's very helpful. It's kind of like how AG was initially before people started trolling it 24/7.
Are there any videos we're looking for, like, upcoming for you that you're going to be making, or?
I don't really have a whole bunch of them planned out. I'm not organized enough to plan out a lot of videos. I usually plan them out in like one night. I'll say, okay, what topic should I make a guide for, and then I'll try to dish them out that week or the next. So I don't really have anything in particular planned, but I'm always thinking about what topics I can make and guides I can make for Hunter, and I don't make a lot of Rogue and Mage guides right now. I did months ago when I was playing them actively, but I kind of shelved those classes for a little bit just because busy schedule and stuff, and not being too lazy to keep them up to date in gear and find teammates. But I will be having a lot of different varying Rogue, Mage, and Hunter guides coming out constantly, pretty much.
Okay. All right. Now, on your YouTube channel, you have about 4,600 subscribers, which is a pretty good number. Have you looked into pursuing any sponsorships by other companies? Like, I know Swifty, I saw an interview with him. He said that he became famous when he only had like 7,000 subscribers on his YouTube page. They just Razer picked him up because he broke records on his Warcraft movies for getting the most, like 100,000 views in a day or something like that. And Razer picked him up and eventually gave him a full sponsorship. Have you looked into anything like that?
I haven't really looked into or pursued anything like that. I'm not very good of a business person, you could say, and I'm also kind of lazy. So if something comes my way, then I'll look into it. I haven't really pursued anything like that, though. Although I drink a crap ton of Red Bull. I wish they'd sponsor me and just give me free cases of Red Bull, because I love that crap.
All right. Is there anything you want to say before we conclude this interview?
Yes. Kids, only you can prevent forest fires. No, I don't really think I have anything. Just, I guess, a big thanks to the people that are doing the NAO. It's really fun.
For sure.
It's a cool thing that they're doing, and I know it's not easy to throw that together. They're actually putting in work, their own time, and really nothing to gain from it other than, fun. They're doing it obviously because they know it's fun for everybody, and including themselves. And big props to them because it's basically, it's not an easy task. I wouldn't do it. I'm too lazy for that. You know what I mean? And shout out to my teammates, and props to you and Joey here, aka Nirox, for making this channel. It's a really cool idea.
Thank you.
Cover esports stuff. And props to everyone on KT for team hopping 24/7 and actually having queues. You know what I mean? I went to Tichondrius thinking, for the first time, thinking there'd be a bunch of queues there, and then everybody, as soon as I got there, I guess I smell bad or something, because everybody just jumped ship and like, oh god, let's go to KT, everybody.
Yeah.
KT in the US.
Is huge now. It's huge.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun to actually get insta queues all the time though.
All right, thank you, Tosan, for being a part of this interview. Guys, thank you. If you like what you see, make sure to like, favorite, and subscribe to our channel. I'll have Tosan's channel as well as SkillCap's channel below in the description. Like I said before, we're going to have a weekly episode on SkillCap as well as on our channel. So if you like what you see, we'll have more interviews. We're going to have a follow-up. I think our next video is going to be a follow-up of the NAO coverage. So stay tuned, and thank you for being here, Tosan.
No problemo.
See you.